What is good, pretty Monica? What is good to everyone? How's everyone doing? Pretty Bonita, what's good, Tracy? I just been, in the clouds watching and observing everything. It's been very interesting to watch. Very, very interesting to watch. And I just wanted to come through and give my little opinion about it all. Hope that everybody's doing well. Hope that everybody had a great work week. Hope that everybody is having a great weekend and a great Super Bowl weekend at that. What's good, intentional rain? Ciao. After this entire week, it has me posing the question, what is loyalty? Exactly what the motherfuck is loyalty, y'all? What is loyalty? What is that word? What does it mean, y'all? Because in each situation and case within this week, I've seen a lot of stuff about loyalty, y'all. So, y'all. And what's good, Anella? Hey to everybody. Okay, y'all. So I have been watching everything. And I have been tickled pink. What's good, the Dragons? What's good, Juanita Bonham? I've been tickled pink, y'all, because of just how this thing has transpired. And I have to say, I put it on my community wall, y'all. I said, I am thoroughly enjoying watching everyone else experience VS. I am thoroughly enjoying it. I am tickled pink. Hey, Taylor May. Hey to everybody. Because, it's a lot of people that are new. It's a lot of people that have been here that loved her back in the day. And, now she giving them the business, y'all. And she giving them the business all about loyalty. But before I even get into that part of the loyalty, let me go ahead and rewind to what happened at the beginning of this week. So the beginning of this week, we had, I guess the middle of the week, we had Rob get out of jail, y'all. I was happy that he got out. I was shocked that he got out. And I was actually one of those people anticipating his life. But I was anticipating the live because I thought maybe he was going to speak about, what happened, his experience, who he thought might have had something to do with it, these types of things. I had absolutely no idea, y'all, that he was going to come out and act the fool the way he did. And to be on the live doing all the extra the way he did. To turn on his camera and make the same mistake that he already made in order for people to know where he was. In order for him to be able to talk so much and get so drunk to where he was dropping a dime on his own location. When I saw that happening, I knew it was going to end well. I think I watched maybe about an hour or so of his live at some particular point. I fell asleep on it. And y'all, when I woke up the next morning, about 7:30, something like that, and I saw the live was still going, I was like, wait a minute, something ain't right. By that point, he had been live for about 11 hours. And, I ended up finding out once I redballed a little bit that he got arrested again. I have to say I felt bad for him, y'all. I felt bad for him because it is clear to me that he is an alcoholic. And it's crazy because I have experienced alcoholics within the past, whether it's friends of the family or a family member and stuff. But I've never seen somebody so dependent like that to make such a mistake to wind up back in jail again. But even with that part, hey to everybody coming in. Hey, Daniel Berry and Miss T Velocity. Even with that part, y'all, I had to question, what is loyalty? Because it was very clear to me how Rob wanted to get drunk like that as soon as he got out, that Rob is loyal to the bottle. Y'all don't hear me? Didn't you find it strange to see Tracy boo-hoo-hoo crying, real tears, real emotion, that people probably never even thought that Tracy possessed at all a day in her life? She was loyal to Rob, but Rob was loyal to the bottle. Think about that, y'all. Crazy. What is loyalty? What is loyalty? When Rob would get out, and before he called anybody, y'all, he got the bottle. And then, Troy has always made fun of me in the past for me calling the police from different things going on within this sector. What's good, life with Jamila, Miss Dredd, and everybody? For me calling the police within this sector, but meanwhile, Troy called the police on that man and got him put back in jail. Allegedly. What's good, Robin and Gemini 75? Allegedly. I think that Troy cannot make fun of anybody else calling the police. Troy cannot speak on anybody else making a police phone call, whether or not they feel in fear of their life, whether or not they feel in fear of their safety or anything like that after that mess that he pulled. Especially given the fact that Rob is in California and Troy's in Detroit. How does that work? Then he's talking about his nieces in California, but how in the world would Rob know that his nieces are there? You think he was scared, Tracy? I don't know now. I mean, Troy made me commentary and love to make fun of me whenever I felt fearful of one thing or another. He said that I was wrong. Well, he didn't necessarily say that. He did say that I was wrong in some cases. Whenever I felt the need to call the police. But now him as a grown-ass man, a genetically grown-ass man, a biological grown-ass man, called the police on this man who was across the country from him. Hey, Queen Diva. Hey, everybody. It's just unbelievable to me. But enough about Troy. I'm sure that he is learning an interesting lesson because so many people up in the other sectors are wanting Troy's head. I saw somebody that said that Troy was a bitch ass nigga and like they was going to do something to him. It's a lot of these men in them other sectors, y'all, that really got some crazy shit to say and some harsh words for Troy for this. But anyway, enough about Troy. Back to the loyalty. So Rob was loyal to his bottle. Tracy was being loyal to Rob. Either way, it got them in a fucked up situation. And then it gets me back to VS. Now, VS came back. While she was away, she expected a certain level of loyalty. Which is interesting because then you have to wonder, was she asking too much of them people? Was she asking too much? Hey, Jen the Goddess. Hey, View. Was she asking too much of them people for loyalty for 3 years? And now that she done came back, everybody that she was close to, it seemed like she is getting at them. Now the people, what's interesting, y'all, is the same people that said that they couldn't wait for her to come back, y'all, are the same ones that's fighting with her right now. The same people that over the course of the last year or two that was like, I can't wait for her to come back. Hey, Deborah Mayo and Shanice. And Trinity. I can't wait for her to come back. She needs to come back. Yes. The B sector ain't shit without her. She needs to be back. Yes, yes. The same ones now fighting with her. Because she came back and said that a lot of those people lack loyalty. And then she came through and started spilling tea on people. Now that's the part that I've been here for, y'all. That's the part that I've been here for. Because I used to say a long time ago, they was all working together. They was all working up in a group. But VS was the face. And she used to say that all the time. Now she's spilling the beans on people to where you didn't know that certain people had this to do with this and that to do with that. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. That bombshell that she dropped over there on James, whenever she said that Lady Nika was the one that gave her them pictures of Shelly's kids, child, and then people was like, well, she didn't give, like, Lady Nika didn't give her the pictures. Lady Nika told her where to find the pictures. Told her where to find the pictures, gave her the pictures, kind of the same thing. Because if you're going to lead her to the Facebook page, then that's where the government name's going to be. Hell, I think I might would have preferred for Lady Nika to just send her the pictures. At least the names wouldn't have been associated. But if you sending somebody to a Facebook page, that means that they can have access to the government names of these people up in the picture. That means they can have access to the government names of the people on the friends list. That means that they have even more that they can research in order to find more information in order for them to beef properly with the person that they beefing with. I think I would have preferred that it would have just been that Nika just sent her a couple of text messages with the pictures, then to just lead her to the Facebook page. But maybe it's just me, y'all. Because at that point, when you at the Facebook page, you got the name of all the kids. You got the name of Shelly's husband. You got Shelly's name. You got the grandparents and whoever else is on the friends list name. Y'all, sending her to the Facebook page gave more information than not. But either way, I was shocked to hear that. You know, Shelly been making a big fuss and a big deal out of me about how much she hate me and stuff like that. Meanwhile, the same person that she was thick as thieves with was sitting right there at her table and had done sent them pictures to VS, y'all. If y'all don't hear me, when I tell you, when that came out on James's, y'all, it was a Judas moment if I've ever seen a Judas moment in the beef sector. A whole Judas moment. And let me tell y'all why it was a Judas moment, y'all. Now remember, whenever I did that OG panel, what's good to everybody coming in, no pressure, and Sade. When I did that OG panel, y'all, remember, the reason why Shelly had went off on me at the beginning of that live was because Nika and Jay Wilson had said that they didn't want to be on the panel with me. And they also said that they didn't want me to speak to them, that I couldn't address them, and this, that, and the third. And Shelly wanted to come at me because she said Nika and Jay Wilson don't want you to speak to them, and they don't want you to address them, and you have to honor their wishes. So either you not going to speak to them, or you can't be on here, or I'm going to drop you down, and all this type of bullshit. But meanwhile, at that same table, while Shelly is treating me as the Judas, all she had to do was look to the left of her, and she would have saw Nika sitting right there with the knife behind her back, y'all. All she had to do on that panel, all Shelly had to do was look to her left. She would have saw Nika right there up in the square with that knife behind her back, y'all. Meanwhile, I had to respect everybody. I couldn't speak to nobody. And long story short, y'all, I ended up getting cussed out for no good damn reason. I ended up getting booted off the panel for no good damn reason. And everybody was coming through. Trying to paint me out to be the problem on that panel. Meanwhile, Judas was still sitting right there with the knife behind her back, with the fact that she knew she had gave them pictures to VS, with the fact that she knew that she had the hand in getting that woman's kids and shit like that put out here. But meanwhile, Shelly would still sit on here and say that she has so much hate for me. And I ain't never involved her kids in the motherfucking thing. I ain't never sent her kids pictures nowhere. I ain't never did anything. And even after that OG panel, once me and Shelly fell out, y'all, it was almost like they was playing in each other's face. Now, my question is, do y'all think that Nika was playing in Shelly's face? Because Shelly and Nika was kind of thick as thieves after the OG panel, where Shelly was always coming and sitting on Nika's platform. Then once me and Nika had made amends and Nika started letting me come, a couple of times I was trying to come up there to be up on the platform to give my opinion. Nika wouldn't even let me up there because Shelly was up there. Nika said, J.Dunn, Shelly don't want to be up on the same panel with you. I can't let you up here because Shelly don't want to be by you. Shelly don't want nothing to do with you. But meanwhile, Nika was still sitting up there defending Shelly, saying she protecting Shelly from me. Meanwhile, she still had that knife hiding behind her back, y'all. Shelly sitting up there running her mouth, trying to drag me. What's good, Melissa Scott? Trying to drag me, sending me gummies in the mail, all this type of bullshit. But meanwhile, Nika saying, J.Dunn, I'm not letting you come up here to bother Shelly. You only coming up here to mess with Shelly. But meanwhile, she still had that knife behind her back. What's good, Bird? Child. And that's how we go back to loyalty. Because it's clear as day that Lady Nika was loyal to VS back then. It's clear as day that Lady Nika's loyalty might have still lied with VS, even to this day, y'all. Because had Nika not have had some type of loyalty to VS, then wouldn't she have came out and let Shelly know her part in that situation? Stop and pause and think about that. If Nika's loyalty was with Shelly, then would not Nika have just came clean from the get-go? Well, no, because her loyalty was still with VS. Her loyalty was with VS, so she didn't even want to come clean with Shelly. She was going to still keep that secret with VS and probably take it to her grave until VS got pissed off about the lack of loyalty, according to her. And then now, here come VS spilling the beans to where then Nika had to come through and admit her part, y'all, about the loyalty. What's good, Shanae and everybody? Now, so for whatever reason, Dovey and VS have become a match made in beef sector hell or heaven, whichever you call it. And y'all know I like Dovey. I like that Dovey was telling the truth, or at least was spilling the beans about certain things. Now it's crazy because I hear some people saying that Dovey was lying. Now, it's some things that I think that maybe Dovey glossed over. Some things she might have embellished. But for the most part, chronologically, most of the things that I heard her say were pretty accurate to what I saw play out over the course of time. Most of the things. Hey, JL. And so I was happy that Dovey was actually that comfortable to just start spilling all this stuff. I was sitting here watching. I was like, yes, because it was fascinating to me that so much of the stuff that Dovey was saying, VS said that nobody had told her. Even though if her friends was loyal to her, they would have let her know all of this, right? Then, even to the point to where it's people saying, well, VS was here for the 3 years, then people saying that she wasn't. I heard Duchess Kelly Love say that she was here for the 3 years and she never left. And on one hand, I could believe that, but there is one thing that's keeping me from not believing it, y'all. And the thing that's keeping me from not believing that, and please like my video, y'all. The thing that's keeping me from not believing that is because it's too many of these black sector players that VS don't know anything about. Now, and hey, Lady Tears and everybody. Now, had she been here the entire 3 years, she should have definitely knew who Misunderstood was. She should have knew who Allie the Sag was. She should have knew who Buddy Lee was. She should know who a lot of these black sector player was. But mostly the only black sector player that she seemed to know who it was is Lady Snoop. And Lady Snoop was here from the beginning before VS even left. Hey, Niecy. So on the one hand, as much as people want to convince us that she was here the entire 3 years, something about her lack of knowledge when it comes to these black sector people makes me believe that maybe that's not true. Because as much as they used to frequent over here and be up on the panels with us over here and be up in the chats, especially over there on Pizarro's, getting up there, getting into arguments, Brianna used to always, y'all think she acting? Benny Hill says she's acting. I don't know now. Maybe she acting. I don't know. Rosin says she does, but have to play it out, so it's not a violation. Okay, maybe. Lady Tia said, I don't think she been here 3 years, but I agree she should know more. What's good, Lord Karma? Yeah, so that was just my observation as far as whether she was here, whether she was not here. But back to the whole stance of loyalty. The fact that her and Dovey are getting along was just it was shocking to me, but I was happy that Dovey was able to fill her in with stuff that she didn't know. But now this is the kicker. Dovey, how can I approach this? I don't know if it's imitation that Dovey is doing. And when I say imitation, it's because as long as VS has been back here, all we have seen her doing is going after her day ones, y'all. Let's be honest. That's all we have seen her doing thus far. Is really going after her day ones. And last night when Dovey started going after the Stacey Robinson lady, that was shocking to me. And I'm like, well, is Dovey trying to imitate what she's seen VS do? Because I mean, VS went after the Nika lady and said that Nika lady was a mole, only for that mess to end up being a lie. What's good, Joanna and everybody? Only for that mess to end up being a lie about the Nika person. And then now Dovey is saying that Stacey Robinson is a mole. And then she done fussed at Stacey Robinson and all this. Now they done messed up their friendship. Stacey Robinson went to the spaceship and was giving her point of view about how she felt like Dovey was fucked up for what she did and how she got a lot of Dovey secrets. And because she is friends with Dovey, she is not going to reveal any of Dovey's shit. But she did say that she didn't appreciate what was being said and what was being done. And then Dovey was kind of, fussing at some of her day ones who were subscribed to her. And I'm like, wait a second, Dovey. You can't turn on your people for one person. You can't just turn on your people for one person. What's good, Heidi? Where's the loyalty in that, Dovey? But this is my thing that I think that Dovey is not realizing. Because just like we all see Dovey turning on her day ones, and we see Dovey fussing at Stacey Robertson, who always had her back, VS see it too. Dovey, if you don't think for a long shot that VS ain't looking at you being disloyal to your people, if you don't see that, now remember, the only reason why she jumped on all of her people is because she felt like they were disloyal. And Dovey, what you were doing right before her damn eyes is proving that you are also disloyal to your day ones. I know that this is your first time seeing how this lady operates, and that's why I said I am thoroughly enjoying people actually experiencing her. Because you best believe she watching you be disloyal, Dovey. I think that was the bad move. Especially to turn on your people and be disloyal just after the second conversation that you done had with somebody. But Dovey is grown. She make her own decision. She gonna do what she want to do. But it's just like, what is loyalty? To turn on Stacey Robinson for VS? So now you're more loyal to VS than Stacey Robinson? And Stacey Robinson have been here with you for like 3 years, 4 years? Hell, I done had to block Stacey Robinson a time or two. I done had to block Stacey Robinson a time or two because she caked for Dovey so much. Even though me and Dovey don't have no beef. But I think Stacey Robinson, I think it was one time Dovey had cussed me out on Lady Nika's, and then I did a live response about Dovey, and I think Stacey came up in my chat and was coming at me about my opinion about the fact that Dovey had cussed me out that one time. And I think I blocked Stacey Robinson then. But I'm going to have to unblock her because Stacey Robinson has been loyal. At least what I can see. At least what I can see. But y'all, another thing that make me question loyalty, because after Dovey's live with VS, where she would talk about she TSCC, she a scooter, she a Intel, she a this, she a that. Y'all, after that live with VS, do y'all know I hollered because Five went live and I saw Dovey's ass up in there put a damn $5 super chat. And then Dovey was up in there and it said, welcome to Babe Nation beginner or something like that. And I'm like, come on now, Dovey. Because now you just was over here with that woman who feels like Five is her arch nemesis. You was just over here with that woman on the live being BFFs. And now you over here at Five Babes doing the super chats and joining the membership and all this type of shit. You think that shit gonna fly? You think that shit gonna fly, Lord? And I'm like, what kind of game is Dovey playing, y'all? Like, you know how sometimes you can watch how people move and you be like, okay, they playing checkers. They playing chess. But Dovey, I think Dovey over here playing Connect 4, y'all. Dovey said, fuck a checkers, fuck a chess. I'm playing Connect 4 on these hoes. Because I'm like, what the fuck is this, Dovey? I said, now you just made a whole alliance over here. You just made a whole alliance over here with this girl. And now you over here, Babe Nation now. Girl. But you know, there has to be a method to Dovey's madness, y'all. There has to be. I refuse to believe that Dovey is doing all of this without no method. I'm going to trust in Dovey and believe that it's a method. I'm going to believe that it's a method. What's good? Perfectly Me and Maverick and everybody, Juju, Mercury, everybody. It's Jack. But yeah, okay. So now it's funny though, because when Dovey did that over there in Five Babes, that tickled Five Babe. Five Babe bust out laughing. Of course, she had to be messy and, hey, Dovey, hey, Dovey, hey, Dovey. Oh, Dovey. You know, she had to do that. But now, y'all, only time will tell us what's going to happen. Another thing that I want to say about loyalty too, y'all, is okay. So now, because of Dovey trying to have this YouTube shit with VS now, it does set the streets on fire to where Dovey is getting a lot of criticism. Dovey is getting a lot of heat from so many different content creators. Heat is coming all over the place towards Dovey. And the thing that I thought was pretty interesting, and again points to my topic of loyalty, is why Dovey was on her live last night swinging from her life, or swinging for her life, calling out Sean, calling out Kwani, calling out Pizarro, calling out Fake Shy Y'all, calling out Nika, calling out everybody. VS was just up in the chat. And while Dovey was still fighting for her life, VS typed up in the chat and she was like, okay, back to the clouds. I'll be back on Monday. So now you mean to tell me you did this whole thing with Dovey on Friday night, and now that people fighting the fuck out of her ass this weekend, you talk about you will be back on Monday. The fuck? So you done assisted Dovey in setting this blaze, and now all of these people mad at Dovey and coming at her. And you just gonna what? Put your feet up and watch the Super Bowl and come back on Monday. Just gonna let Dovey fight. And then she up in the chat talk about Dovey, be strong. Stay strong, Dovey. Be strong, Dovey. But she ain't helping Dovey fight. Where's the loyalty, y'all? So now Dovey just stuck up in the crossfires trying to fight all these people from every different direction. While VS said, I'll be back on Monday, child. I guess VS said, I get the weekends off. She said, I got weekends off. I'll be back Monday. So I was thinking, I thought that was crazy as hell. And the thing is, when she said, I'll be back Monday, Dovey was like, all right, okay, VS. Okay. I'm like, oh my goodness. So now Dovey done fucked up some of her fan base. She done pissed off one of her day ones. She done possibly got most of her chat blocked because I think they said she left Stacy with a wrench. She left people with wrenches and stuff like that, and she just left the fight by herself this whole weekend, y'all. So I like Dovey, so I go over there and support her, and I just be listening. But I think that Dovey made a wrong move this time around. But again, Dovey might be playing Connect 4, y'all. I mean, if she playing Connect 4, she know what she doing. She know what she doing. The next thing that I wanted to say, which is a little bit off the topic of loyalty, y'all, but I wanted to make this point for y'all to take note of. So last night up on Dovey's, y'all saw that Fates ended up getting into it with VS. And then Brian got into it with VS. Now, if y'all notice, Brian came up there to defend Sean Bradley, but mostly to try to warn Dovey about Sean's live, because I had saw Sean's previous live, and I heard what he said about possibly releasing the Zoom and stuff. So Brian got up there to warn Dovey, and then I think VS called him Gacy, called Sean Gacy, and then Brian corrected VS and said, "Don't call that man Gacy." And then, just like that, y'all, VS said, "Shall I get the red shoe? Shall I get the red shoe? What's good, D-Spot?" Just like that. All because he told her he disagreed with her calling Sean Gacy, and he felt like no man should be called that. She automatically resulted to, "Should I go get the red shoe?" I hope y'all caught that. I hope y'all realized Brian didn't mention her mama. Brian didn't mention her kids. Brian didn't mention anybody up in her family. Hell, Brian hadn't even really said anything disrespectful to her. Brian just disagreed with her calling Sean Gacy. And her first thought of combat was, "Let me go get the red shoe. Let me go get the red shoe." The reason why I point this out is because for years, the lie was she did the stuff she did towards me about my deceased mother because I went after her family first. I said this about that person. I said this about that person. Y'all can clearly see that that's her first go-to because she did it with Brian. She did it with Brian. I mean, hell, she couldn't have tried to drag Brian for being a big guy. She couldn't try to drag Brian for his facial hair. She couldn't try to drag Brian for something before just resulting to the red shoe. Yeah, Brian was ready. He was ready. But y'all watch. If y'all don't pay attention, in a month from now, she gonna swear that she brought that red shoe out for Brian because Brian talked about her mama first. She gonna swear that the reason why she brought out the red shoe is because Brian talked about her mama first. Even though we clearly saw that all Brian did was disagree with her calling Sean Gacy. That's all he did. That's all he did. Y'all gotta watch. Y'all gotta watch how she really do. And I have to say, it's very interesting just to see how everything play out now. Now I kind of understand when Sean Bradley and them be saying that they like to sit back and let the new people fight. Well, definitely when it comes to VS, I do. I like to sit back and watch everybody else. I like to sit back and see because so many people, like I said, these were the people that was ready for her to come back. And now she coming back giving them hell. Now she coming back and giving them hell. What's good, L7 and everybody? Yeah, please like my video, y'all. So, yeah, I'm just observing at this point. Once upon a time, me, no nonsense, and a few other people over here was fighting VS. But it's not necessary because that's one thing she did. She came out and she said she was giving a clean slate and a truce. And I'm fine with that. I'm going to do commentary about the situation on what I'm observing. However, and what I am observing is I'm really trying to figure out what is loyalty. And what the hell is Dovey doing? What game is she trying to play? Because from her to flip-flop between TSCC to Bad Nation last night, like what? Where's the loyalty? But y'all Dovey know what she doing. I'm trying to think if it was one other thing that I wanted to touch on. I know that, what else? It was something else on the tip of my tongue, y'all, but I done forgot that quick. Laura Corman said lining them up to make them fall, perhaps. You know, Lady Tia, initially, I promise you, I thought that she might have changed. But the thing that made me think that she had not changed was legitimately her going to get that red shoe for Brian. I mean, it's so many other things that you could drag Brian about without having to go that deep with it. And when I saw her get that red shoe at the very beginning of their argument, that made me believe and feel that she probably hasn't changed. But up until that point, I promise y'all, up until that point, I really thought, okay, I thought maybe she did change. I really did. I thought maybe she has changed with what she had to go through. Maybe, you know, the anger management and the counseling and things like that she said that she'd been going through worked. Hey, Miss Dee Dee. I thought that maybe she had changed. But that right there was too quick, that red shoe. Because it's like if you go there with the red shoe, then what are you going to do to up that? The thing with dragging, roasting, and gagging, y'all, is that you have to up your most recent gag, your most recent drag. You have to escalate your drags and your punchlines. But when she just resorted to the red shoe, she went from 0 to 100. And my thought is, how are you going to top that? How do you top that to try to hurt Brian or to try to make him feel some type of way? How do you top that? It's supposed to be a slow buildup, y'all. It's supposed to be a slow buildup. That's what makes the beef sector the beef sector. A lot of the times you start very, very light and stuff with your drags, you know, and you up the ante as much as the person ups the ante. You up the ante as much as they do. But it almost seemed like she couldn't wait to throw that red shoe out there on Brian. It almost seemed like she was happy that Brian came up there just so that she could have the opportunity to get the shoe. Because for her to just be like, shall I go get the red shoe? And she ran out and went and got it. And y'all, I have to tell y'all, hey, Brian, and I have to tell y'all too, this is a testament of me not knowing anything about girly clothes and shit, because that red shoe that she put, and it ain't no disrespect to her, but I was like, that's an ugly shoe. Only for me to go outside of the live and I see Reed done posted that's a YSL or YSL is some type of shoe. And I'm like, what the fuck is a YSL? And so then I had to go and Google it. And I'm like, what is this shoe? And then like I heard Duchess Kelly Love mention the brand of the shoe. I heard Sean Bradley mention the brand of the shoe. I think I heard Jay Wilson say something about the brand of the shoe. I'm like, these gay men know about this motherfucking shoe more than I do? Absolutely not. Y'all, it just looked like a regular Payless shoe to me. But I guess the way everybody else talking is that shoe's supposed to cost like $600 to $800, y'all. But when I was looking at her holding up in her hand, I couldn't tell. I could not tell that was an expensive name brand shoe. Because I don't follow stuff like that. For me to actually have to go and Google the bullshit to be like, what the fuck? What? And my thing is, how do you look at that shoe? Yeah, please like my video, y'all. Please like my live. It's a lot of y'all up in here right now, so at least like the live. But I was like, how can people just look at this shoe and know exactly what type of shoe it is? Y'all, how? What's good straight out of Storyline? Lost Brain Cells on YouTube said the real ones do. Okay. It was given very much a Ross with the cheap knockoffs. I ain't dragging her shoe. I just didn't know that it was a name brand like that. I didn't know that this was like a high end. And y'all, I heard that like the people are like, it's like a European shoe or something, like Saint Laurent or Saint somebody. Hey, just me and Cinema Alexander. Everyone, it say YSL on the heel. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I don't follow fashion like that. I don't follow fashion like that. But anyway, I thought that was interesting that most people knew about most people knew the type of shoe before I did. And especially that the gay men was clocking it. They knew what type of shoe it was, how much it cost, what the retail price was. You could get on Rodeo Drive for this amount. You could go over here for that amount for the damn shoe. Meanwhile, the shoe that I did recognize was when Brian held up his red shoe. Now, when Brian held up his red shoe, I knew that shoe. I was like, oh, damn. I got that shoe, but mine is black, Brian. I know that shoe very well. And those shoes are comfortable, Brian. I love that shoe that when Brian held up his red shoe, that was my kind of shoe. Now, that was my kind of shoe. But her shoe, y'all ain't know nothing about her shoe. Oh, hey T Lounge. Hey Nikki baby. Oh, Right to Be Told said the heel was shaped in the letters. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, but please like my video. But yeah, so enough about the shoe. Yeah, I'm just watching and observing everything. And you know, it does make you have to question what is loyalty. But I believe at some point there is going to be a question about loyalty between Dovey and VS. And then speaking of loyalty, y'all, what y'all think about this love triangle between VS and Brianna and Pizarro? Now, that right there is interesting too. I have to say, which I called it in one of my last lives. I said that whenever I heard Pizarro and VS being on the same platform together, I think it was on Sirius Bayless. And they ended up going back and forth on who was the most real and who was the most loyal in regard to Brianna. I knew that it was going to be some bullshit on the horizon. I knew it. And I think I did my live that day. And then 2 days later, it was some whole shit had hit the fan where VS was like, Brianna, get your friend, tell her to stop and all this. And then Pizarro was still typing up in the chat. Brianna say, no, she just trolling. She don't mean it. VS was like, no, get your friend. Brianna was like, no, she don't have no problem with you, all this kind of stuff. They were just going back and forth. But then last night I had peeked in over there on the spaceship, and you know, it was people over there talking about how they felt about VS. Fakes gave her opinion, Brian gave her opinion. But Pizarro was there, and I think Pizarro still feel a type of way about it. But I don't know if she's trying to respect Brianna and not really speak too much on it. I'm not sure. But that's going to be an interesting thing. And that right there centers around loyalty too. Prior to VS having to leave off here, Brianna's loyalty was with VS. Then once VS left, then it's essentially like Pizarro had to play stand-in as bestie for Brianna. But now that VS done came back, Brianna will eventually have to make a choice, I believe. I believe that. Just based on what I've seen in the past of VS, I believe that. I believe that. Because VS ain't going to be trying to come second to a troll. She not trying to play second to a troll. Hey, Hypnotic Touch touching everybody. She not trying to play second to a troll. That, you know, she honestly feels like Pizarro is beneath everybody because she don't show her face. She not monetized. All of this type of stuff. Melissa said peace are going to be good. I know that Pizarro is going to be good, but I think that there is going to be an issue where a choice is going to have to be made. Now, you can mark my words with that, Melissa. It's just only a matter of time. Hell, they about done got on Brianna's nerves so bad that Brianna said she was deleting the app off her phone for a couple of weeks. Either a couple of weeks or for the weekend. She said. She said she was tired. She said she deleting the app off her phone. She didn't say she was logging out the app. She said she taking the app off her motherfucking phone, y'all. So she over it. She over it. What's good, Denise? Hey, Cornelius. And hey, told to Bree and everybody. Nikki Baby said that girl been here. She was only locked up 4 days. She been here to know what's going on. She playing dumb. But that girl know. Yeah. I'm just sitting back in the clouds watching y'all. And I mean, that's honestly all that you could do just to see how everything gonna play out. What's good, only saying? Please like my video, y'all. I guess it's 45 minutes. I'll put my link down for a few just to see. Just to see. And I'm actually very, very proud, y'all. Zulu is being good. He laying down right here by my feet. He ain't making noise and stuff. I'm proud of him. He is actually trying to grow up, y'all. L7 said pizza will be good, but we can tell that VS doesn't respect her. Right, VS don't respect her. And I think that at some point, VS is just going to expect the choice to be made. Oh, yeah, Lord Karma, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I am doing great. And what's good, Fishing Man and everybody and Miss Queenie? But I don't know. It's like I've seen in the past, and I guess because I was here, but like I've seen where VS got perturbed with certain people that she was cool with for being cool with others in the past. Now it could very well be that she has matured and grown out of that. But I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Because I could think of a few scenarios that happened in the past. What's good, babe? In which she had a problem with the way people were moving or like with how certain friendships were and things like that. And I don't know if that's a trait that ends. And another thing that makes me think that something might happen too is because they both Scorpios. Remember, once upon a time, Pizarro used to always talk about how her and VS were Scorpios. We Scorpios, we'll sting that ass, bitch. We Scorpios. And they both Scorpios. So I don't know too much about Scorpios except I had one friend that was a Scorpio, but she was like a tomboy like me. So I don't know too many feminine women who are Scorpios. But my one friend who was a Scorpio was a tomboy, and she was just laid back. But we can clearly tell that between Pizarro and VS, neither one of them laid back like that. So I think that there might be some fierce competition at some point. Right, they will sting each other. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for coming here to see me. Y'all, I didn't do any commentary this week because so much seemed to be happening. Y'all, I'm telling you, this past week rather, it was like I would be trying to catch up on one live about something and then a whole nother live will happen. And then now I'm catching up on that one. And then I end up going to bed on that one. Wake up the next morning, it's like 3 other lives that I got to catch up on. And that was pretty much the entire all of last week where you playing catch up because so much was happening so fast. So many discussions were going on. So many situations and scenarios were happening to where it was really hard to catch up with everything. And even this morning, I woke up and I was like, well, I'll probably come here this morning. But then I didn't because I saw so many people going live trying to drag Dovey. It's some people that's really disappointed in Dovey, that's pissed with Dovey, that don't like Dovey. Everybody coming at Dovey in so many different directions. And VS said, I'll be back on Monday. She like, Dovey, stay strong. I'll be back on Monday. The fuck? And then VS been trying to find Bless Watkins. Bless Watkins said, no, I ain't coming. Then I saw Bless Watkins up in Pizarro's live. Bless Watkins had dropped down up in the chat, and I was like, oh, look at Bless. I said, Bless came on out. But Bless is ignoring VS. I don't know how much of that she gonna be able to take before she get pissed off. So yeah, it's a lot. Then it's supposed to be a VS and Lady Nika meeting that's supposed to happen on Monday, which that's gonna be interesting. And depending on how that meeting go, ain't no telling how Shelly gonna feel about it. Child, I'm like, I don't even know what's gonna happen with that meeting. Oh, look at VS came up in here. VS, I'm doing my commentary about you. I ain't dragging you, but I'm doing my commentary based on my observations and what I saw now. But I don't know. I'm interested to see what this meeting is going to be like that you're going to have with Bless. Not with Bless, with Nika. But it does make me wonder if Shelly going to watch the meeting and end up being more pissed off. That's my thought. Y'all know I ain't drag you. I don't feel like it. I honestly don't. But I'm just talking about what I'm seeing in this whole Dovey thing and the fact of all this loyalty talk. But I'm curious to see because Shelly says she hate me and I ain't even did half the shit that everybody else done to her. Hell, she hate me just because I stayed friends with BB Nice. That's why she hate me. Yeah, L7. VS is supposed to be having a sit down. Oh, I don't know whose channel. VS supposed to have a sit down with Lady Nika to discuss an issue because an issue happened. I guess it was last week on James' platform where it ended up coming out that Lady Nika aided VS in doxing Shelly's kids. And that Lady Nika provided the pictures to VS of Shelly's kids. Back in the day whenever VS had posted the kids. And that pissed Shelly off. What's good, dog, baby? That pissed Shelly off. And so now Shelly mad with Nika. And then Nika and VS gonna have a conversation because I guess VS, you feel bad for spilling the tea about Lady Nika. Do you feel bad for that? Because it just seemed like you coming out here swinging on everybody. And I'm just watching. I'll be right there up in the clouds, listening and looking. Melissa Scott said, it's too old. Oh, VS said, God told me to tell the truth. Oh. Well, if God told you that, then do what he said. You need to do what he said. I'm tired of being blank for everything. Okay. Well, you got to listen. I mean, hell. They say that whenever you have to sit down and be in solitude for some years, sometimes you can get a little bit of an awakening and enlightenment. So maybe that's what happened. No, I don't think you was wrong. I was just there listening. And I mean, hell, I got up there and I laughed at Shelly whenever it happened. Yeah, I don't know why I'm so messy, but after that happened and Shelly had dropped down, I had got up there and I told Shelly that's what she get. Because that is what she get. That's what she motherfucking get. Because you won't believe how many times Shelly done disrespected me for Lady Nika. Meanwhile, Lady Nika was that Judas that was sitting right there at the table with the knife behind her back, laughing and kikiing up in Shelly's face with the knife behind her back. That Judas. Meanwhile, Lady Nika was the one that gave them pictures. Child, I can't. Child, I cannot. I cannot. Lord. So we'll have to see though. I'm looking forward to seeing everything. Dwayne Williams. I'm not dropping the link for VS. She on vacation. She said she ain't back until Monday. That's what she told Dovey. And that's another thing. I thought that was funny as hell that she told Dovey that she'll be back on Monday. Even though Dovey up in all this motherfucking hot water trying to fight half the people up in the beef sector. Nah, Dovey fight half the people up in the beef sector and VS taking a break. VS done only been here for 4 days and now she need a 2-day break. VS, I'm gonna continue to observe. I don't have any grudge, but I don't know that I'm ready for a conversation. I think that this is good that I'm talking to you up in the chat. I think it's good that I'm talking to you this way. And I think it's good that I don't even feel it up in my spirit to be like, block that bitch. Get that bitch up out of here. Block her. See, that's progress. That's progress. But look, I ain't trying to run no sprint shit like that. But I am enjoying watching everybody else deal with you. I'm enjoying that. It is growth because it is growth because I would have been there, yeah, blocker. What's good? Happy Valentine's Day. Yo, look, the Lord working on me. He working on us all. But yeah, but I appreciate that, VS. Maybe one day. What's good, youngest sibling? Cassie, you said I'm proud of you, JD. It's definitely growth. Girl, you know, it is. It is. But yeah, but I'm just going to be watching and just seeing how everything unfolds because I'm curious to see. Because I think it's interesting that so many people played so many different parts and things, but they hid their hands with doing it. And now all of the stuff is coming out. I think it's interesting that now Dovey finally got to have somewhat of a voice. But I mean, Dovey done always had a voice. But I will say that Dovey was most of the time on the outskirts. Even when Dovey was kind of aligned with Nika and Bless, Dovey was always like the third wheel. Even when Dovey was good with Nika, Blessed, and Pizarro and Brianna, Dovey was still the third wheel, but I have to give Pizarro credit and say that Pizarro was the one who seemed to give Dovey more of a chance than anybody. Because Pizarro let Dovey sit there on the spaceship, talk about whatever. Pizarro was trying to share Dovey video. Pizarro was trying to help Dovey get the transmission money. Pizarro was trying to help Dovey. So I have to say that. Now, Pizarro really did try to help. But that's the crazy thing because you never even know when you could take some of the stuff that Pizarro say genuinely and not. Because she be on some fuck shit most of the time. Hey, YouTube cameras. But, you know, Dovey did do well for her to get her 1K. I'm happy for her. And, you know, I'm happy for her, but I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen because this loyalty term has been exhibited in so many different facets throughout this past week within the sector. Between the loyalty with Rob Rack, Tracy, the loyalty with Rob Rack and his bottle of liquor, the loyalty between VS and them folks that she mad at, the loyalty between the folks that was ready for her to come back, but now they cussing her ass out, the loyalty between Pizarro and Bree, the loyalty between Bree and VS, the loyalty between Nika and Shelly, and the loyalty between Nika and VS. Just a whole lot of loyalty shit. Hell, even the loyalty with Blessed and Nika, Blessed, Nika, and Brianna and Pizarro. Because, I mean, hell, they had the alliances once upon a time. And I think Blessed left that alliance before the alliance game even began. Before it even began, y'all. So this past week has been all about loyalty. And so I'm just going to keep sitting back and watching it and see how it all plays out. But thank y'all for joining me. Please like the video. If you catching the replay, please like the video. Y'all take care. Be blessed. Don't stress. I will talk to y'all later.